Hello everyone and welcome to Popcorn Anatomy. My name is Ursula and 2 weeks ago I made a video about whether or not Harley Quinn might have had a baby, and that video blew up. Of course, because Suicide Squad seems to be such a popular topic on YouTube right now, I got a couple of comments saying I should make a video about the Joker. Now, I already made a video about the Joker a couple of months before the movie came out, where I talk about his look and the actor's skills and kind of the different versions of him that we've seen so far, and the link is below if you want to see that. Otherwise, I'm very happy to be back, and sorry I didn't upload last week, but hey, I've got a life too, and a pretty hectic one. Besides the fact that I've been so busy lately, the power went out for like 2 days too, and well, needless to say, I wasn't able to upload anything recently, but I'm uploading now. As we've all noticed, Suicide Squad has been a controversial topic on the internet, not just because of its reviews and how good or bad its depictions of the characters were, but also because of its depictions of Harley Quinn and the Joker's relationship. Some say their relationship is adorable, while others say that it's a relationship of abuse. Still, others like to say that while the Joker does mistreat Harley in the comic books and animated shows, they don't do a great job of showing it in the movie. I'm here today to put all of these opinions to rest and explain what I see in Harley's relationship with the Joker. It's abuse, no matter how you put it, and the film actually doesn't sugarcoat it as much as you would think. Here's why. Ever since Harley Quinn's character appeared in 1992's Batman the Animated Series, she's kind of always been a pawn of the Joker. If I were to talk about the number of times he's abused Harley physically, verbally, and psychologically in the different shows, movies, games, and comics, this video could be well over a day long. Besides, you've probably heard all about it, but if you haven't, you can look up the instances of abuse for yourself. I'm going to talk about the movie instead, because it certainly appears that people are getting the wrong idea about its portrayal of the couple. Like I said earlier, one of the main critiques of the movie is that the relationship between Harley Quinn and the Joker was too romanticized, that it depicted them as a cute, funny couple that wasn't at all the way they show in the comic books. However, I'm going to have to say no to that. In the film, he does display many different instances of physical, psychological, and verbal abuse, and those of you who say they didn't show enough of it to make it look abusive aren't really getting the bigger picture. There are actually many different ways to abuse someone, and that it doesn't always have to be so obvious and in your face. Abuse is most often hidden away, deep enough for the public to not recognize, and while this film made it less obvious that he abuses her, it's what it's like in real life. The Joker manipulates Harley scene after scene, and those of you who don't have a proper understanding of abuse didn't quite see it. Of course, much of this controversy could be attributed to the deleted scenes we never got to see. Footage was released from behind the scenes that shows some physical action of the Joker harming Harley. If they'd chosen to keep these scenes in the movie, we would have seen Harley struggle with her decision to join him, confronting him with a gun and getting hit in the face and shoved in the car for it. That scene would have then transitioned to the part where he manipulates her into jumping into a vat of chemicals in order to get hurt and look like him. The scene I just told you about that wasn't placed in the movie just proves that Jared Leto was playing an abuser, even if the movie was cut to look less so. Then of course there's the scene in which he's tied to a chair and put into electroshock therapy, courtesy of the Joker. That's accompanied by the famous quote of, "I'm not gonna kill you, I'm just gonna hurt you really, really bad," showing that the Joker's abuse is not just physical, it's also verbal. Of course, their backstory was tremendously edited. We know this because of the pictures that surfaced and because, let's face it, it's clear that the entire movie, especially the backstories of all the characters, were tremendously edited. But because of quotes like this, all of the other evidence of abuse we're seeing, there's a very good chance that there's a great amount of verbal abuse going on here that we didn't quite get to see, and that even if they didn't cut it out, it's not really something you have to see to believe. But what is probably the most accurate part of the film's depiction of abuse is the whole psychological spectrum of it. A lot of audiences don't seem to get that psychological abuse is a type of abuse as well, and the Joker is a mastermind at this. If you're into TED Talks, I'm actually going to reference one by Leslie Morgan Steiner, who's the author of the book Crazy Love and a victim of domestic abuse as well. In her speech, she talks about her domestic abuse story and describes it as a psychological trap disguised as love. She also says that the first step in an abusive relationship is to seduce the victim. Part of this is to pretend to idolize the victim or make them think that they are the dominant one in the relationship, and to create an atmosphere of trust that will make the victim believe you. Guys, this is exactly what the Joker is doing. For those of you who say he treats her like a princess, saves her several times, and takes her on fun dates, that's all part of his plan in making her think that he loves and respects her, just so that he can go back to manipulating her into doing whatever he tells her to do and create the illusion that he treats her well. The Joker is insane, and while it's true that you can both be crazy and love someone, that's definitely not the case with the Joker. Part of what makes him the Joker is that he's so far gone he can't feel love, empathy, or sympathy at all. The closest thing he has to love is his obsession, and only Batman is worthy of his obsession. Harley is different. She's a girl in denial, and denial is a clear symptom of abuse. I mean, for Pete's sake, doesn't anyone remember the scene in which Mr. J leaves Harley, who can't swim, in the water to drown in order to escape Batman? In fact, the fact that she even calls him Mr. J makes it clear that he's the dominant one and must be treated as a higher figure while she considers herself his subordinate. Another interesting thing Steiner mentioned in her TED Talk is that while she was in her denial period during her abusive relationship, she didn't even consider herself an abuse victim. Instead, she just thought of herself as, and I quote, a very strong woman in love with a deeply troubled man and the only person on earth who could help him face his demons. Does that sound familiar at all? I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video and the previous one. You can comment below on what you want me to talk about next, and like and subscribe if you thought this was any good. I know I'm a little late with this one, but I promise I do try to upload at least once every week, and I'm very sorry for how long it took to make this one. Again, thank you very much, I love you all, and see you next week.